Perfect.
Give it to me, baby.
You gotta end with jazz hands. There you
Well,
go.
no, that's the more the Star Wars one. Or maybe that's this.
It's totally the finger wag.
Yeah, I think that one's the finger. Welcome to Kayfabe Wrestling Talk. My name's Handsome Nick Hanlon, sitting here with Matthew Burnaby, and we're about to cover the biggest, one of the biggest, no, it's not the biggest, one of the biggest pay-per-views on WWE's calendar, but definitely the biggest ever of this specific one. But first of all, how you doing, Burnaby?
We're doing good, buddy. Doing good. Lots man, been watching a lot of wrestling. They've put up many hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, and I was so busy I couldn't catch SmackDown. So before we get into the topic today is the Royal Rumble 2025. I unfortunately had many events and didn't catch SmackDown beforehand. Matt, anything special happen on SmackDown? Anything mentionable before we get into the main topic here?
So I did want to mention just a couple of things real quick, and that being it kicked off with Joe Tess in the ring, saying how Kay had interrupted them last week, him and Cody's interview, and KO saying he hasn't been heard, so Joe said I'll interview KO tonight. So he brings out Kevin Owens, who came out in a Kevin Owens shirt for some reason. But so Joe was trying to.
I guess there are no Joe Test shirts yet.
I guess not. But he did call him Joseph, which is very Kevin Owens. But Joe was really good about it. He's like, hey, I understand. I play a role in the way people perceive you. I'm as a journalist, and so I want to give you the chance. And he asks Kevin Owens, what are we missing? What was that? There was a big crash down.
You want to go check it out?
All right, I'm just going to move on. So Joe Tess say, what are we missing when it comes to you and Cody? What are we missing that we're not seeing? So KO just calls him out. He's like, you're a Cody fanboy, right? Everybody who's been interviewed lately has been, oh, I'm going to be the one facing Cody at WrestleMania. Oh, I'm going to be the one facing, and everyone's looking past Kevin Owens, right? And at one point, Kevin Owens asks Joe Tess, he's like, you a tough guy, Joe? And he's like, no, I'm a 53-year-old TV broadcaster. So Kevin Owens basically says, hey, you can take your apology and shove it up your ass. And he goes to leave, and CM Punk comes out, which the crowd went nuts for. They sang along, Cult of Personality the whole way, and even a holy shit chant. Just to
Shit's
have those
PG
two.
now. We can say shit.
Okay. So a holy shit chant rings out, right, just to have those two in the ring.
I'm going to drink some whiskey. Anywho.
This is going to be a fun episode.
It's been a while since I talked.
So
I got bored.
Kevin Owens is like, can I help you? And Punk is like, nope. But again, Punk came out, showed a little bit of respect. Say, I came out to apologize for overlooking you. So when I win the Rumble, and if you make it past Cody Rhodes, a very angry, pissed off Cody Rhodes, then we can main event Mania together. Right, so they had a big long thing. Again, every segment Punk is in lately seems like such a big deal. Even if they're not even necessarily setting up a match. It's just, but every time he talks, it just seems like such a big deal. Kevin Owens essentially ended it by saying stuff like, there are 29 other guys in the Rumble I like more than you, he says to Punk. But the thought of you and me main eventing Mania and the thought of beating your ass, I like it. But what I like even more is the thought of you not being able to reach your goal of main eventing WrestleMania, so I hope you don't win.
I love Kevin.
Yeah,
Always the honest.
Yeah. Punk
The
reminds
voice
KO that
of reason.
he's lost 5 title matches at the Royal Rumble.
Who has?
Kevin Owens. He's
lost?
had 5 title matches at the Rumble and lost each one of them. So Punk reminds him of that and says, "Oh yeah, and I've never lost to Logan Paul." So that's gonna bring out the fists. But KO leaves, doesn't want to fight him, and leaves. But the reason I bring this up is, again, just every Punk segment seems super important for some reason. Like he just crushes it. It's outstanding.
He's got gravitas.
He really does. Really not much else. I mean, obviously we had some matches. Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo.
Melo don't miss.
What was interesting was Melo tried to hold the ropes on the pin, and Jimmy kicked out, but then Jimmy rolls him up and gets a handful of tights and wins. So I don't know.
Yeah, Jimmy's still bloodline.
A little dastardly, but I'll take it. It's
Jimmy's still bloodline.
They ran down a whole bunch of Royal Rumble stats. I won't bore you with all those, but that's some pretty cool stats in there for the Royal Rumble. There was a Chelsea Green interview.
Chelsea Green. Sorry, go on.
Before her match with Michin, so Chelsea down with Piper in her Secret Service outfit. She had a little tie, shirt and tie, a bright red jacket. She called her Secret Hervis. Wade Barrett's like, it's not very secret if you're in a bright red jacket. Chelsea comes out strong. Michin takes it over and does really well. Ends up getting DQ'd, though. Chelsea Green ran away and finds a kendo stick behind the ring bell guy, and starts beating Michin with a kendo stick. So that ended a DQ. Damian Priest showed up. Had a cool little interview. Fatu shows up with Tama, and they go at it, which I thought was
with Damian Priest,
really good. With Damian Priest, yeah. And then the guy you hate comes out to help. So LA Knight comes to the rescue. The only highlight there was a couple of good highlights. Damian Priest called Fatu a pendejo. And Fatu smiled or grimaced or smirked or grinned or farted. I don't know. I cannot tell with this guy's facial expressions. Yeah. But the one thing I thought was cool was LA Knight went to hit him with a chair, and Fatu just punched the chair out of the air. Dude,
maybe I'll have to watch SmackDown. It sounds like a pretty good one. Anything else?
No, you know what? We had an 8-man tag with Pretty Deadly and DIY versus Las Gaza and Motor City Machine Guns. And then we had Miz versus Andrade. If you remember last week, Miz was trying to recruit people, and he got mad about Andrade. So they set up a match for that. And probably one of my favorite things towards the end was we're in the back with Damian Priest, and Santos Escobar is trying to get in good with him, and Priest is like, I don't think so. And R-Truth shows up, and in classic R-Truth moment, you have to check this out. YouTube it or go find the show. But he thinks he's on Raw. He welcomes Damian Priest to Raw.
Awesome.
And my favorite line is like, I just talked to British Adam Pearce.
Did you see his Twitter after Triple H got announced for Hall of Fame?
No.
He says, "Congratulations, Triple H," and puts a picture of Ciampa up.
It's so good. So your main event at the end of the show was Fatu and Tama Tonga versus LA Knight and Damian Priest. Priest wins it with a South of Heaven on Tama, but afterwards Fatu attacks, hits a pop-up Samoan drop, and a double or a jumping his double jump moonsault.
Oh yeah.
So the show ends with him Fatu standing tall over everybody.
Yeah.
He's a beast and a dangerous man, and he is going places. And I've said that several times, and I will continue to say that until he's at that place.
We can keep him out of jail. He'll be rocking and rolling.
If we can, him and Dom, just keep him out of jail. They'll be fine.
I can't wait for them to tag team.
All right, that's my breakdown of SmackDown for you.
All right,
I won't go into any other details. It was a good show. It really was just setting up
3 hours.
A lot of the stories. It was a 3-hour show. Really just setting up more stories and prelude to the Royal Rumble and the matches there.
All right, well, let's get into what we're here to talk about. 2025 Royal Rumble, announced as the biggest Royal Rumble ever. I'm assuming they mean attendance-wise or gate or something. Because if it's gate, that just means they've raised the prices on everything. Trust me, they have. But I mean, that was a big crowd. That was what, 60, 70,000 people.
70,000
in that
people,
room.
yeah.
Stephanie McMahon came out and announced that. I didn't know she's working for the company yet again. I assume she will be. Because
there's nothing
I don't know
official.
What she's doing. It's great to see her. I mean, she's looking evil, man.
She looks great.
I think she looks amazing, but that look on her eyes are still. You still see the evil McMahon when she's smiling. She's trying to smile through the evil.
She shills corporate stuff and then does her best Vince impression to welcome us to the Royal Rumble. Like that is definitely Vince's kid.
3-man announce team. Wade.
Wade Barrett gets to join us.
Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Pardon me. I just threw up in my mouth. I like it. They were good. They were good tonight. I love Wade Barrett. Should just be on every show.
I do. He is really, really good. He's really grown on me the last few weeks too. He's really come through and done some great stuff, I think.
And he makes the best points. All right, so Women's Royal Rumble's first.
Yes.
First 2 entrants, Io Sky and Liv Morgan. A couple of favorites, a couple of possible winners, in my opinion. Io Sky, I think, would have been my initial pick.
Yeah.
Then we got Roxanne and Valkyria, and how many close calls in that first 5 entrants can Io Sky have? Dear Lord.
Right. Almost eliminated so many times.
And Chelsea Green, she threw out a ton of people who ended up just being on the edge, and she didn't end up throwing them out.
She had the first elimination of the night. Chelsea eliminated BFAB, first elimination of the night.
And that wasn't until entrant number 14 or something, right?
It was a busy ring. I don't think I've ever seen a ring that busy. At one point, 14.
I think we only had our second elimination by 11, is what I got written down here.
That's crazy. Well, it was cool. They had a new graphic that they've not done before, where it gave you how many active wrestlers, how many people have been eliminated, and the next entrant number on screen at most of the time.
I like that.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like.
Because you're always wondering where you're at, right? Was that number 12 or 13, right? Yeah. I like the little statistics. I mean, every other sport in the world has this stuff. Why hasn't WWE thought of this? Thank you, TKO.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I got written down here, around number 13, 14. I don't know if you have anything before that. But all the Pure Fusion collectives in the ring at this point by halfway through. And I remember saying out loud, if Pure Fusion Collective doesn't win the Royal Rumble, they might as well split up. Because they should have just been eliminating everybody one by one. And it just shows their lack of teamwork, in my opinion. They all want to be their own thing, but they're in this tag team because they can't get anywhere doing their own thing, it seems like.
You might not be wrong on that one. Because, they were working pretty good for a while, but I think they all were eliminated within 10 seconds of each other, all 3 of them, right?
Yeah, really quick.
Not working together as well as they should be. The only other note I had before them was I just noted how long the ramp was to get to the ring.
Oh, my goodness.
At one point, you see them sprinting, but they're not going to get any closer. It looked like they were on a moving escalator the wrong way. I'm like, what is going on?
As soon as I saw that ramp, I knew Hogan wasn't showing up in the men's.
No way.
What are they going to bring up the WrestleMania 4 little cabbie thing just for Hogan?
Yeah,
Remember the WrestleMania 4 thing they like rode out on?
the like the golf cart with the big platform on the back.
Maybe WrestleMania 3 as well. Oh my God. It would take him 3 entrants. People just be running past him. Hogan gets down there by number 30 and wins. Anyway, that's how I dreamt it, but it didn't, obviously go that way. And then, by number 15, Io Sky is still in the ring.
Yeah.
Number 1 and 2 are still in the ring, and Io Sky, in my opinion, is the star of close calls.
No, she could have taken the whole thing, but very difficult to do from the number 1 spot. Just ask, Michaels or Rey Mysterio. But one thing I did like was, because there's so much going on, right?
It was tough.
They had a really cool spot with Bianca doing like the 10 punch count in the corner.
Yeah.
And someone would come up behind her, she'd backflip over and do it again.
She did that 5 times.
She stacked 4 of them, then the 5th one came, and she did a
Alexa
5th time and beat Alexa Bliss, which brings us to, holy crap, Alexa Bliss is back. So before that, I thought.
Oh, right, we forgot to mention Alexa Bliss came down. Dear Lord.
Well, number 19 was Jordan Grace, which was nice to see. She just signed, and she's a major player, man. She is a good wrestler, and she is buff. She is cut.
She looks like the blonde from Reno 911.
Yeah, she does a little, doesn't she?
Or the mother from the Goldbergs, but she's got the same hair as the Reno 911, and she kind of looks like her, but buff, like
very buff.
She could crush your head like a watermelon between those.
Yeah, there were a few real loud crowd reactions for some of the entrants, and I think one of the biggest ones was number 21, Alexa Bliss returning.
Well, how about Jordan Grace's Death Valley driver to Piper?
Oh my God, right?
That was insane. But yeah, of course, Alexa Bliss comes down, and of course, there's leaked rumors that she's not signing a contract because of money.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah.
That was, obviously that was leaked to surprise us because I wasn't expecting her down there after I read that.
Michael Cole is like, I thought she wasn't going to come back. The internet told me she wasn't going to come back.
I wonder if they leaked that at all. I don't know.
I bet you they did. I bet you they leaked that stuff to Meltzer, who doesn't fact check and just spits it out.
Now here's a little story. Do you have anything up until let's just say number 25 before I say who that is? Anything before that?
Other than a really cool top rope code red by Zelina Vega.
Oh, yes.
I think it was kind of like standard fare in the Royal Rumble at this point in time.
Just
the
everybody
only thing
fighting.
to point out was that, there was over a dozen women in the ring at the same time.
It was a lot.
It wasn't like standard, like usually you see, once it gets to 10, a couple of them get eliminated before the next one comes down, but it was a busy ring. But no, I nothing else up to 25, so go ahead.
So here's a little antidote. Me and my brother were talking about, who's the, because I was like, Becky Lynch is probably the most popular women's wrestler of all time. Like, her run was incredible, right? Like, she made probably the most money for the company. And you could argue Rhea Ripley's there almost, right? And there's, Charlotte Flair is probably up there as well. And my brother's like, who's that blonde from back in the day? Isn't she who's that blonde? Number 25 hits, Trish Stratus comes out. I'm like, is that the one you're talking about? And he's like, yeah, her. It was like literally in between 24 and 25, we're having this conversation. Here comes Trish looking like a dish. Let me tell you what.
So I'm watching the Rumble. I'm watching it with my kid, and my girl was there for a little bit as well. And 30 women come and go, and the only one she's ever heard of was Trish Stratus. Yeah. And
so we'll have to put her on the women's Mount Rushmore, I'd say, at this point. Anyway, that was my biggest pop was Trish coming down.
Yeah.
I was excited when, the girl from TNA, I don't watch TNA. I know her from last year. I knew they signed her. Assumed she'd be there. Cool. But yeah, Trish coming down, that was a very, very exciting moment for me. I was hoping Lita would come down.
I know, right? That would have just been perfect. But unfortunately not. But, Trish lasted right towards the end there. Although I did see one bit where she was trying to knock out, was it Alexa Bliss? She was biting her hand on the rope.
Who Trish was?
Trish was biting her hand, yeah.
Gotta love Trish. I let her bite me. Interesting as well, Liv Morgan eliminated Alexa Bliss. Wouldn't we call Liv Morgan kind of the new Alexa Bliss?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see what
Like
happens
her
there.
doppelganger. Yeah.
And then we got number 27, probably the biggest, I wouldn't say surprise, but Charlotte Flair. And her outfit, her entrance, and you know she's got the fireworks, but
Yep.
dear Lord, she looked like something out of Star Wars. But like the prequel one. She looked like she was going down to Congress or whatever.
She
looked great. It was awesome. Her outfit,
like a Senate guard. Yeah.
her outfit was awesome, but once she took that robe off, am I wrong? I mean, I don't want to body shame. I'm not that type of guy, but she's lost a little weight.
So I think the seamstress missed the mark.
No kidding.
Towards the backside area of the outfit.
I was like, is she wearing a diaper right now?
It
just falling off her ass.
And again, I only say that because my girl mentioned something, and we had like a 10-minute conversation about outfits and things like that. So it was obviously big enough that
sounds like a terrible
another woman commented first. I don't feel as bad when I say stuff like that.
Oh no, like that. Teresa, my brother's wife, was here, and she's like, "What's going on?" Oh, it's too big. It's the first thing she said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, she's got no hips anymore. But yeah, somebody, I don't know, maybe she sent them, or maybe they used her old, I don't know. She's got zero body fat. I'm not saying she ain't looking good. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, she wasn't filling out her pants, that's for sure.
So anyway, Charlotte Flair coming down, happy. One of the, I'd say, top 5 greatest wrestlers for women of all time.
I mean, she's very talented.
Dear Lord.
Very arrogant, but very talented.
I think she's gotten more arrogant.
Agreed. And I'll get to that in a second, but let's run down.
I have a note here that says double teabag Charlotte Flair is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Can you tell me what that note's for?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's amazing.
But I'll tell you what, Charlotte Flair was slapping the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. Lots of chops. And then I guess that brings to right, another international star coming.
Was she
down.
in NXT for a while, or was she from?
Yeah, she was in NXT for a bit. Yeah.
So number 30. Are we getting to now, Nia?
We're getting another. Nia was what, 29 or 28?
Was she? I thought she was 30.
Nope, because number 30 was Nikki Bella.
Right, Nikki Bella, the worst pop I've heard for somebody returning.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. I was excited. I like Nikki, but there was nothing. Am I wrong?
She looks great. She's been out for a long time. She's had
amazing. I'm actually watching a reality show right now because I do a podcast with my sister about reality shows, and there's like a show called Traitors. It's like a murder mystery where it's like a game show or whatever, and Nikki Bella's in it. And she looks great in that. She looks amazing. But whew, that hit flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should have had Charlotte last or something. But hey, they picked the numbers. But I mean, that was a low. I felt bad for her.
And if I go back, actually, no, Nia Jax was in there way before that, right? Because she eliminated like 6 people at one point.
Nia Jax, I don't know why I got her at 30. I don't know. We can look it up. But her hair, Nia Jax, how about the hair? Freaking Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Dear Lord. Okay, so we got Nikki Bella. Yeah, it was number 30. An army forms around Nia. Nia Jax goes all Wolverine, man. When she pushes those women down, rah! Awesome. Man, she threw those women. And then she takes out, 5, 6 people? This is when I lost track of who got eliminated who.
Yeah. Right. And she holds the record for most eliminations for women in a Royal
She's
Rumble.
Kane level for eliminations, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, she's a beast. It's always interesting to see these larger people in the Rumble trying to get eliminated. It's so tricky. You always have to gang up.
Charlotte took her out. Charlotte took her out alone, didn't she?
I think she had help.
I don't remember.
Could be wrong.
I was drinking. That being said, anything else?
Just I thought it comes down to the final 2 of Charlotte and Roxanne Perez. Who saw that happening?
Final 3, it was her, Nia, and Roxanne. That's right. Yeah. And Roxanne did help her a little bit with Nia. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm now remembering. And then, of course,
Woo!
Yeah, Charlotte takes it.
Charlotte Flair takes it at the end. Points to the Mania sign.
Is that her second win?
That is her second, so the first two-time women's Royal Rumble winner. Um, so yeah, and going back to the arrogance and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw, but she stood in the ring for an extra long period of time, and all you saw was her doing this. You're like, who's she? She calling over family to celebrate? What's she doing? No, she was calling over the referee to open the ropes for her so she could leave.
As the ref should have been doing already.
I mean,
what's
if that's not
happening in
Ric
this
Flair's
world?
kid, if that's not Ric Flair's kid, then who are you?
The ref should have known.
That was very Ric Flair-like.
Okay, your queen needs somebody to help her with the ropes. Figure your shit out, ref. That ref should be fired. No compensation, no payout, to the street, and blacklisted across all all wrestling. That MFer is gonna have a problem getting a job at Wendy's if I was leading that troop. You hold the ropes and shut up! Sorry. I'll compose myself. My apologies. My God. I mean, like, if she did it herself, her pants would have just fallen right off. What do you think? Good Rumble, not bad. Might have been the best women's.
It was really good. It was less because they'll do that sometimes where some Rumbles are really based on surprise entrance. This one was just based on pure wrestling ability. I don't think there were too many shocks outside of Nikki Bella and Alexa Bliss. Mm-hmm. Right? I think they said Charlotte would be back by the Royal Rumble. They never actually said when she was coming in or if she had entered, but it was kind of assumed. But and then Roxanne Perez lasting almost the whole Rumble was very impressive as well.
Yeah. I mean, Io Sky made it really far too. I wonder who had, because Io Sky was like an hour by the time she got out of there. I think she was at an hour. I think they showed a little stat.
That's a long time to be in the ring, man.
I don't know because I know whoever was in the longest, like Bailey, before that was like 101 or something. So I'd like to see. I throw up. I'm sure they'll talk about it on Raw, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was very excited though. I mean, I started this thing 3-4 hours late. I was at a comedy show, which was really funny, but I didn't look at social media, which for me, I mean, I'm on Facebook. I'm always it's just an OCD thing. I check it every time I get out of something. I was just like, I can't look at any. And the first thing I did when I hopped out is clicked on Facebook and I immediately closed it. I'm like, I can't look because I know the first post is going to be who won something, right? So I luckily went in completely blank.
Well, I'm very impressed.
Fun Rumble. Trust me. But hey, we got a 2 out of 3 match with Motor City and DIY.
All right, you can be mad at Motor City as much as you want, but that was one hell of a match.
I know DIY put on a great performance. You're right.
Yeah. I think they all did excellent. Some of the highlights. I mean, they're just basically doing their thing. All 4 of these guys can go. All 4 of these guys are very talented. But the thing that jumped out at me
ain't no
was
Pretty Deadly.
The one thing that jumped out at me was the first pin, right? Where Ciampa goes to pin or tag in Gargano and deliberately misses.
The ghost tag, I like to call it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Very smart, right? That
I've never seen anybody do that before.
Confusion as to who the legal man was. You see it the opposite all the time where a tag has been made, but the ref doesn't see it. But this time, the ref clearly saw that there was no tag made and didn't even signal a tag, and that confused Sabin and Shelley, and it was very clever. Very clever way to get that first pin.
Yeah, I mean, the ref did miss quite a lot of things, like all the illegal double teams by Motor City Machine Gun. That being said,
they got 5 seconds for the double team when they tag. All right. But you're right. They did miss several things. Again, is this smart or is this dastardly? You tell me. But Ciampa going under the ring, crawling under the ring to get to the other side to pull Sabin off the apron, right?
Is it illegal?
No, I said it was this clever.
You
Maybe
said
this
it.
was very
You
clever.
said dastardly as well.
Oh, well, it's dirty
I like
pool.
how you frame
Sure.
your compliments.
It's dirty pool, but it's not illegal. Neither of them the legal man at this
If it's
time.
not illegal, how is it dirty?
Well, there's plenty of things that could be considered underhanded and
Maybe
not
in your
illegal.
opinion.
Yeah, or the law's opinion, or the
law?
construct of the rules.
Is there
of
some
whatever
sort of
we're
rule
doing.
against what he did?
I just mean in general. In general,
Maybe in
right?
general.
You could do something that's dirty pool
We're just
or
talking about-
dastardly and not illegal. It's still dastardly.
I don't know.
Nah,
I think
that's
it's
okay. You don't
more
have
cle-
to know.
I think it's more
I do know.
more clever. The clever part is the part that we should take away from this.
Gotcha. That
It's
causes...
called keeping straps, mother.
Well,
So-
what ended up happening was there was a distraction. The ref misses a machine gun's tag, which really started the downfall of the machine guns. Now they did get their pin back, so we're tied at 1, right? They get their skull and crossbones finisher, so they managed to get that. But
And we might as well just end it at DIY gets a completely clean pin to retain.
What's that?
Might as well just end it at the next pin where DIY gets the completely clean pin to retain the titles.
Oh, is that what you think it is? Because
What happened?
what I saw was the Street Profits interfering and taking out one of the machine guns so DIY can get their meat in the middle and get that third pin. They're second, the third in the match. Street Profits attack machine guns to lose, and then they attack DIY after. So
So the pin wasn't clean, though?
Well, what led to the pin? No, not at all. But it essentially saying that the Street Profits were ensuring DIY keep the belts because they want to take it from DIY. They don't want to take it from machine guns. So they come in, get the DQ by attacking the machine guns. Or not the DQ, sorry, but they attack the machine guns, which allow DIY to get that
The ref
last
didn't
pin.
see it. And then
Ridiculous.
DIY gets a clean pin, yes. Like
Ridiculous.
I'm a very honest
But
man.
how the tag moves of both of these teams are off the chart. Baby needs his bottle. The tag moves of both these teams are outstanding, but that was a hard hitting match. Did you notice 3 out of the 4 men in that match were bleeding before it was over?
It was a
From
hard
the
hitter,
nose and
man.
From the mouth, yeah.
With Ciampa and Gargano's new attitude, you are going to see some hard knocks fights with these tag team title matches. Because if you ever remember these two fighting each other in NXT, man, some of those matches that Ciampa and Gargano did were off the charts.
Yes.
It's just I can't believe they're friends again. But I guess
Well,
money
it's like
talks, right?
Sammy and Kevin Owens, if they're not the best of friends, they're the worst enemies.
Touche. And money again talks. All right, so clean, like I said, clean pin DIY retains. So that's you basically explained that as well, right? So we got Cody Rhodes, Kevin
Yes.
Owens, ladder match for 2 completely legitimate titles. And it back and forth at the start, but once they went into the crowd, it got pretty fun. Did you see Kevin Owens throw that one fan's phone to the ground?
Throws a phone, like, what is going on? And all because Cody punched KO with a beer in his hand. He took somebody's beer and punched him. I guess KO got mad about it, grabbed the nearest thing out of a fan's hand. It just happened to be someone's phone.
Just threw it. We are seeing the beginning of Homelander Cody. Cody is turning to the what I would call the light side, because right now he's in just the money dark side trying to sell T-shirts, but he'll realize once he completely changes, that's where the real money's at. Anyway, and I'll explain. But I mean, what do you any notes that you'd like to?
These guys just beat the holy hell out of each other. KO, being
Clear hate.
Exactly, a little unhinged in his hate, and you hear Michael Cole yell, "KO is losing it," And Kevin Owens screams back, "I ain't losing it. I'm winning it all, bitch." Which I thought, again, Kevin Owens' banter, love him or hate him, hate him. He's not quiet in the ring. You know, he always has something to say when he's beating you or when he's getting beaten. He always has something to say.
Backdrop to Kevin Owens on the side of that ladder. Homelander-esque.
That
was nuts. I had a nurse in the room, and she's like, "He should go to the hospital now."
It's like Cody said at the in one of their promos. Kevin Owens wants a match where the ref can't screw up and screw him over, and Cody wants a match where the ref can't stop him. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they had. That backdrop onto the ladder, on the side of the ladder, looked awful. But not as bad as, towards the end there. Kevin Owens has that really cool kind of like a twisting suplex off the top rope or middle rope, right?
Before you get to that power bomb into the ladder by KO to Cody at one point, and Pat's yelling he might be dead.
Yes.
He might be dead, and I was with him. But yes, the twisting suplex off the top rope into the ladder. Who took the worst of that?
Right.
Did you rewind that a couple times?
Yes, Cody lands flush on the ladder, but KO. I mean, he almost JD McDonaghue's himself, right? Like JD did on the table.
Oh, maybe not worse, but like all back ahead. It was all head. Now he's got a big noodle on him.
Sure, there was going to be a match stoppage, or they brought people out. Sami Zayn came out after that to
make sure Kevin Owens was okay. Yes.
He checked on Owens. He did go over and check on Cody as well, but then he went right back to Kevin Owens.
Pretty quickly.
Very quickly. But yeah, I thought for sure that they would have to call it or figure out a way to end that match right there and then. I thought Kevin had knocked himself out cold doing that move. That was insane.
Now we again more Homelander Cody. That Alabama Slammer that ended the match into that ladder. I mean, are we even going to see Kevin Owens at WrestleMania? Is it even possible for him to fight somebody?
Right. Well,
after that headshot and then that.
Right before that, right, he smashed his head in the table, and that cut him open, like right around here or whatever, right by his eye. It was a big gash. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that looked so painful. Like there's no faking that. There was a big gash in his eye. He's bleeding like crazy. He tries to package pile drive Cody onto the ladder, and like you said, he turns it into an Alabama Slammer onto the bridge ladder, which snaps, and KO's head is just in the rungs. Like, I was for sure. I'm like, we just saw someone get murdered live on Netflix.
He's dead.
Yeah,
he's dead, and that's why it's on Netflix, because now they can kill people.
Yeah, I was almost positive he was dead. Like, unbelievable.
So Cody wins. We've now proven Sami Zayn is on Kevin Owens' side, and we now know that Cody Rhodes can go to the dark side.
I don't know if either of those are. Well, I don't know if the Sami Zayn thing's proven yet. Okay.
The Cody Rhodes go to the dark side.
The Cody Rhodes going to. I mean, he pulled out some nasty stuff. But you know what? Kevin Owens is doing the same thing to him. They've both escalated each other, right? So you would assume that this feud is kind of done with now. KO might need some time off after that match. So we'll see how Cody composes himself going forward. Punk mentioned last week that it can get to you being the champ and putting all in this work. And you're not wrong. There were shades of it's getting to him.
Darkness, my friend. Mm-hmm. All right, so Cody retains a match that will not soon be forgotten.
No, outstanding match.
That was not that the level that they went to was not where I thought they were going to go. That was, there was times where I was in complete awe, and I rarely rewind. Like I rewound a few moves like a few times during that match. Anyway, so I wonder what Mr. Meltzer will give that one. Probably 2.5. The stupid idiot. So we got the main. Any other thoughts on that?
No, that we covered all that. That was just a brilliant match and possibly match of the night. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It almost stole a show.
Yeah.
And you have two Rumbles on a card.
It's hard to steal the show when there's two rumbles and your match is not in the rumble, not in the rumble. So that was very impressive.
Couldn't believe it. Well, speaking of rumbles, men's Royal Rumble. First two, what? Mysterio and Penta?
That's crazy.
Right?
Crazy.
Couple of luchadors, the new age and the old age, deadbeat dad.
I thought they would lucha more. There's not much lucha going on because you had Ray then Penta, and then you had the lucha killer, Chad Gable, come out. Mm-hmm. You had Carmelo Hayes, who's very flippy, and Santos Escobar. So like 4 out of the first 5 are these guys who can handle that style. You didn't see as much. I was really hoping they'd let it explode between Ray and Penta, and they almost did. Right? They were staring each other down. The crowd was going nuts for it, but they didn't get out of first gear, unfortunately, because again, with only 2 minutes in between.
Not a lot to,
entrance.
And plus, strategically wise, if you're doing a lot of high spots, you have more chance of elimination.
True. Yes.
Right. So strategically smart, maybe a little less exciting than we want it to be. That being said, of course, number 6 Otis comes down and slows her down a little bit. Starts just hitting people as Otis does.
Me some Otis. I do love Otis.
Is the man, and again, another guy that needs to go to the light side, as I like to call it. And then the man
Gable German suplex him though.
That was insane.
Did
you see Otis's slap to Chad Gable? Pure straight arm, just that was an insane slap. I know it's not as impressive of him being picked up by Chad Gable, but that slap, those little big thick, just cha-cha-ka!
I saw an interview recently, and I can't remember who it was, but they asked about strongest men, and he's like, Otis. People don't know how strong Otis is.
Yeah, he's got some farm strength, that boy. Mm-hmm. He eats a lot of steaks. I mean, and then, what else happens? We got Sheamus, we got Jimmy Uso, we got Andre, right? Andrade coming down.
Andrade?
Andrade? I could never say his name. There's too many syllables.
Well, the big one, or the next one worth mentioning is number 8, Cesaro.
Oh yeah, that's right. And he got his ass kicked by Mello.
Yeah.
And then who comes down? The YouTube guy?
The YouTube guy, Speed. Oh my lord. So he helps toss Otis, right, with Braun Breaker. And he's celebrating. And Braun Breaker then bounces off the ropes twice and snaps Speed in half.
I thought he was dead.
I mean, so I know the commentators keep saying it. Cole tells us, he runs the rope at 23 miles an hour or whatever. And it's like, all right, whatever. You don't realize how much of a big deal that is until he puts some oomph into that spear. My God, he was so fast and just snapped this poor YouTuber in half.
Hitting a civilian that hard?
It's so great.
I
was very happy. I'm not gonna lie.
Nasty. Mr. Fatu, number 12. That's probably, I would say, and he was a scary force in that Rumble. I thought he was going to win.
He double Samoan dropped Ray and Penta, both of them on his shoulders. Back
like nothing.
Goes. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, Ludwig almost breaks the record for the quickest entrant.
Yeah, it was close.
I think he made it to 2 seconds.
Santino got 1 second.
Yeah. 1.1 or something like that. Poor little fella. I mean, what else can we say? The Miz comes down. This is a big one. TNA champion Joe Hendry. I don't watch TNA, but man, he got a pop.
Do you not believe in Joe Hendry?
I do now.
Joe Hendry.
His song's crazy. I love it.
So I suggest everybody go check out his stuff on YouTube. He does. It's almost like Weird Al songs. He does songs. He does covers, but he changes the words to the opponent he's facing at the time. He has put out some absolute gold. Insanely entertaining. This is not the last time we see Joe Hendry, especially now that WWE has a working relationship with TNA. I think you're going to see him more often. He got a lot of love when he came down.
I was shocked that the people were singing the song, and it just shows TNA is doing something right.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about TNA is they never wavered all these years. They've always just kind of done the same thing and just kind of slowly. They've grown, they went back, they've grown, they went back. They've just kind of like just kept chipping away and never really changed anything too dramatically. And look at them now. I mean, the other guys are constantly kind of trying to do something to try and beat WWE instead of just focusing on what they're doing. And I got to commend TNA because they're just focusing on what they're doing. They're not like, I'm going to take down Disney. They're like, I can carve ourselves out an audience, right? Yeah. And that's what TNA is doing, and they're coming to Sportsnet soon, I think.
I think it was like 10 years, 15 years ago, about 5 years after they were, because they've gone through several iterations, and I think once Dixie Carter left.
Yeah.
The idea was, we are not WWE light. We are not trying to be them. We are not trying to compete with them. We're just doing our thing. And since that mindset, they have been very consistent with what they do. It's a great promotion. And I can't wait to see more stars cross over. I think it's going to be really good.
Now, the next 5 entrances are big ones. Right, we got Reigns, we got McIntyre, we got Finn Balor making a comeback, and we got Nakamura.
Yeah, he's not dead.
He's not dead, which I was shocked after, him being attacked on a gurney
stretcher,
by Damian Priest. I mean, the kind of guy that would punch your grandma in the face, apparently.
Speaking of Roman, Braun Breaker splits him in half with a spear. Man, he's got a nasty spear. I mean, that might be the best spear in the game right now.
Yeah, he's that speed and explosiveness with that guy is.
I think this was Braun Breaker's coming out party for this Rumble. Even though he didn't win, I think he had an amazing showing, and it really showed off what he can do.
Yeah, for the non-winners, the standouts to me were honestly that TNA guy.
Yeah, Joe Hendry. Yeah,
but like. WWE guys would have been Fatu and Breaker for me.
You see that Joe Hendry cleaning house and doing his stuff, and Braun Breaker cuts him off, and Sheamus gets mad. He's like, "Hey, I was enjoying that."
Yeah, I was. What the hell are you doing? I was watching that.
So good.
That was really good.
Sheamus believes in Joe Hendry. That's what
Sheamus for sure believes in Joe Hendry. Henry?
Hendry, Hendry. And
this guy's just
believes in him for sure.
Scratching at me. Oh my god, he wants to be in. Mr. Jey Uso comes down.
Yep.
Right. His pops are big, man.
Yeah.
The kids love him.
You can't deny the impact he's had. For sure.
I mean, another guy people are misjudging because he's clearly part of one of the most evil empires of wrestling. It still is. That being said, he's selling a lot of T-shirts with those kids' cheers. Well, a lot of sunglasses.
Well, he, at one point he was helping Roman up, right?
You're stealing my close-ups. Sorry, go on.
He helped out Roman, right? Roman was down, and he picked Roman up, and they went at it with other people. Like they never fought bloodline folks, right?
Interesting.
And then number 21, we got another return. AJ Styles is back.
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
Yeah, well, he was out for a long time, then came back and got injured against Mello. He hurt his ankle.
That's right.
So he had to leave again. But he's back. I saw a post interview with him saying he feels great. He's in good shape. He's ready to go.
He's got to be 50. How old? He's up there.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. He doesn't.
He still wrestles like he's 30. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. He's a fantastic wrestler. He is, as one would say, phenomenal.
I've never heard that. Is that new?
Okay. Yeah. I just made it up.
Oh, wow, you're getting clever in your old age.
Thanks, buddy.
Braun Strowman comes down running very awkwardly because he wants to beat up Fatu, of course, because he hasn't been seen since the butt attack from hell.
Hip attack.
Sure.
Or butt attack. Sure.
Butt attack from hell. He didn't do much.
No, he didn't.
He didn't really do much.
He sure didn't.
For a big guy,
it was it was kind of a lull there until number 30. I don't know if you have anything up before number 30.
Yeah, you can tell they were getting tired, eh? Well, I mean, of course. I mean, we got Braun Strowman, we got John Cena coming in. probably pop of the night. Him and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Seth Rollins comes down, and the ring's filling up now.
Yeah.
But of course, we got your favorite LA Knight at number 29, number 30, Mr. Paul.
Mr. Logan Paul. And at that point, the ring is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, anybody in that ring could have won. I think almost anybody in the ring at that point in time had a very viable way of winning. I would have been surprised if anyone took it at that point in time.
Yeah, I don't think Mr. McIntyre was happy about being eliminated.
No, I don't know what's going on there. There's some rumors there that he kind of stormed off after the Rumble. He was not.
Well, he thought he was going to win.
I mean,
he was sure he was going to win, and he didn't get to take Punk out. So the two things he said he was going to do, he did not do.
That is correct.
Not super psyched, I don't think, Mr. McIntyre. And we're going to see him getting even with some people, like he does.
I think so.
I wouldn't want to be on his bad side.
Once everyone was in the ring, I really love that. Seth is just, beating the crap out of Logan Paul. Punk pulls Seth off, just to beat the crap out of Logan Paul himself, and then LA Knight pulls him off and starts stomping Logan Paul. AJ Styles pulls LA Knight off of him and starts stomping Logan Paul. So it's like a revolving door of an ass kicking for Logan Paul. Which,
it just shows how much, how big of a threat Logan Paul is.
I think it shows you how much the other wrestlers hate him.
They're treating him kind of like an Andre the Giant. They all got a tag team on him to get him out. It takes 5 of the top stars in WWE to take out Logan Paul. They weren't doing it
together. They just kept pulling no, I want to beat him up. No, I want to beat him up.
Yeah.
No, I want to beat him up.
Who likes Logan Paul?
Was brilliant. Brucey likes Logan Paul.
He's a big fan of Suicide Forests, too. Anywho. So what it... so it came down to what? Logan Paul, CM Punk?
We had Seth
I love
Roman.
Suicide Forest. My dick's out.
We had Seth Roman, Logan Paul, Punk, and Jey Uso in the ring. Punk eliminates both Seth and Roman at the same time, right? As they're battling each other, and Logan Paul from behind eliminates Punk. And John Cena. Sorry, I was shocked. Right?
So he's not dangerous.
Three of the I mean, opportunity. He's an opportunist, is what he is. But that was insane.
What champion is not an opportunist?
That's fair. But you figure with that kind of star power in the ring, Seth, Roman, Punk, one of them's got to be winning, right? Nope. All three gone in the span of about 5 seconds. Seth, snaps, does a double stomp to Roman. I don't know if you saw that. So
that was insane.
We talked about rewinding stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if he slipped, and because usually he's got one leg up and one leg down, and then stomps with the leg that's up. But both feet were up and both feet came down. My God, I thought he seriously injured Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Was Roman at the press conference after it? But she was at the hospital.
He was not. So at the conference that I saw. So
you see him and Paul Heyman get into a little yelling match.
Seth almost goes after Heyman, right? And then stops to go stomp Roman.
He gives him the
again
finger
on the steel steps. It flips him off.
Because he's like, "How outside? Really? He's like,
yeah.
Stops him on the stairs. Yeah, Seth is not psyched.
He's not happy. Yeah, he's not happy.
Well, Seth, maybe you should have won the Rumble.
And I know we're way beyond this, but I wanted to mention the very top of the show, Seth showed up wearing this insane red outfit. He looked like the San Diego Chicken. Remember when Pete Rose used to come out dressed up as that red chicken?
Yeah.
He looked like a buff version of that. You ever see that buff Santa meme with the old guy in the checkered plaid suit with the white beard? That is Seth's version of the chicken.
The gobbledygook?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry, I had to mention that.
I like that.
So yeah, we have Cena, Logan Paul, and
he looked kind of like a dirty tampon. It was great. What? Too much?
Oh.
So we had Sammy and
No,
Logan
so
Paul and
Cena, Logan Paul, and Jey Uso
or
remain.
who did I say? Cena.
Yeah. And it was almost a double AA by Cena. He didn't quite complete it. We had both of them on his shoulders for a little while there. So Cena still got that Cena strength.
Doing his feats of strength.
Right, and eliminates Logan Paul.
I think he put them both on his back to cover his bald spot.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Cut it out.
But there's very little that's going to cover that up. So it comes down to Cena and Jey Uso, and honestly, like, we talked about this. My pick was Cena. I thought for sure Cena's got it. He's got Jey Uso up, ready for the AA. On the outside, he's on the apron, opposite side of the rope.
I thought that was it. I thought we were going to hear that.
Right.
Uso reversal just pushes him. Bye.
Pushes him off. Just gingerly lands, and he's shocked.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe it, along with 70,000 people and everybody watching at home. I don't think anybody saw Jey Uso winning the Rumble.
I didn't call it.
Wow.
I definitely didn't call it.
We talked about it a little earlier with how everyone is so into him. When that camera pans out, you see 70,000 people.
Yeah, they were psyched.
Like, I mean,
they were psyched.
You can't deny the man has an impact on wrestling right now. What I really loved was... I'm not a fan of his
Disney style. His Disney style. I don't like the Disney style. The children, because we all know something's going on because he's helping Roman. He's helping all the people that are dastardly. That being said, people like him. The kids like him. The whole crowd liked him.
Well deserved.
He's a great talent. He's a great wrestler. I'm not saying that. I just, just...
Oh, did you see all three announcers? Right? Doing the yeet, and Pat's like, "You're doing great, Wade." And Wade Barrett's like, "Really?"
Because he didn't do it early. When he came out, he didn't do it. All the other two did it. And Wade just sat there. But yeah, at the end, he was doing it.
Pat's egging him on. Come on, Wade, you can do it. So he does it. And he's like, "You're doing great." It's just so encouraging. But
like a kid.
I mean, that was very reminiscent of many years ago of Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. Yeah. Right, with the whole crowd getting into it, the whole people are chanting his name during segments that he's not even in. People are doing his, he's got the catchphrase, he's got the hand gestures. You can't. I'm very surprised he won. But I think WWE sees that you can't deny this man. You can't deny him at all.
Well, I don't have a choice. He won. He's got to take the main event. And, he's probably top 5 selling T-shirts.
I would even say top 3, I think, is the last thing I heard.
He's definitely making them some money, so they're not unhappy about it, but I'm sure they would have liked maybe Punk or Seth to win, but what are you going to do? He won. They would have loved Cena to win. That's the big story. But he didn't. That's competitive sports, my friend. Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble out of nowhere, and I bet you, the betting odds on him, I bet you weren't great. I wish I betted on it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you sure? Really?"
Well, so
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are both feet on the ground? I had to make sure he didn't land on one foot like Jerry Lawler did back in the day.
Hopping, he just starts hopping around for 20 minutes. No, and I read an article recently. Actually, you make an excellent point. So the top 10 merch sellers of 2024, Jey Uso was second.
Well, okay, wow. Who's number 1? Punk?
CM Punk, then Jey Uso, then John Cena.
Wow.
Then Liv Morgan.
Wow.
Didn't see that coming. Rhea Ripley, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Damian Priest.
Okay. Yeah, that Liv Morgan being above Rhea Ripley is surprising, actually.
And that's your top 10. Did I say 10? I think I said 10.
I don't know. I didn't count.
Yeah, that was 10.
I'm drinking whiskey.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns were in there as well.
Oh yeah, Cody'd have to be up there, and Roman. Yeah, okay, so they're in there. Now, before we go any further, I forgot to bring this up. Penta should have been eliminated right at the beginning. Another thing the ref missed. The refs were
So
missing things tonight.
so he landed, and I wasn't sure what happened there. Commentators like that was 1 foot, but the referees talked to each other before they turned around and showed up to 1, and they were either acknowledging Roman Reigns or saying that only 1 foot touched the ground. But notice there was no replay on it. So,
Well, yeah, I mean they don't. Of course, the big heads don't want to show a mistake by the refs. Because they probably only saw one. Because they kind of came around the corner as he was hitting, so they probably had one up. I mean, hey, Stone Cold Steve Austin's been eliminated, and he hopped back in and won. Right? It happens. Refs miss stuff.
Yep.
But that was a miss. That being said, he stayed in for a while.
Yep.
Great Rumble.
Really good Rumble. That men's Rumble was fantastic. Again, these 2 Rumbles really felt... like, I mean, they just had all this star power in both the men's and women's. They didn't need shock value or crazy surprises for this one.
They got a deep, and that's the thing with the women's. Like you mentioned, they used to be kind of focused on the surprise because they didn't have a deep.
They didn't have 30 women wrestlers
roster,
who
right?
could compete very well. Yeah.
Now they have
they
a
had
deep.
to rely on legends and random ones, and Santino in a dress or R-Truth trying to be in the women's Rumble, things like that, right?
Those are the best.
No time for that stuff these days. The women's division is stacked.
So this is a long pod, which is fine. We're going to wrap it up real soon, but what's next? I mean, I'm assuming Jimmy says he wants to fight Gunter, which leaves Cody
said it for
open.
A while.
Well, who knows? He hasn't picked yet. I don't know what he's going to pick.
He did say at the press conference, I watched the post show as well.
And
he did say, I've been, any chance I get, I tell people it's Gunther. He's like, but now I've actually won it, and I see both options. I believe his exact quote, do I yeet here or do I yeet there? But I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Gunther because he ended the press conference saying, I really think I could beat him.
Well, he's got something to prove.
He really does. So where does that leave Cody?
I mean, we got an elimination chamber coming up, but traditionally the elimination chamber is who fights Cody. So
it's either that
John
or
Cena's
the champ is in it as well, and it's whoever comes out of that as champ, right? So they've done it that way as well. I assume it's going to be a number 1 contenders match
for sure.
So yeah, I guess we won't know until then. Cena is, he's
in it. He's the first guy that's announced in it.
He said he was going to be in it, and then they asked Triple H at the press conference afterwards, and he's like, it's John Cena. It's his last year. All the stuff he's done for this company, if he says he's going to be in it, then he's in it. So, yes, officially confirmed, the only entrant into the Elimination Chamber so far is John Cena. Definitely.
Yeah. Toronto's up for a big pay-per-view because we're going to... Yeah. That Elimination Chamber's... I mean, it's got to be John Cena. What is there, 6?
6, yeah.
Right? So it's got to be John Cena, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
Roman, maybe?
Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns.
I don't know if they're splitting again with SmackDown and Raw and the lines being blurred right now. Who knows?
And then who would be the 6th member?
Well, you think KO,
Kevin Owens?
I don't...
Let's see what's going on with his injuries.
Yeah.
He might be dead. He might be paralyzed. I have no idea.
He had some problems. So
the head on that guy could take a hit.
I don't know. Do we go with Sami Zayn? Do we go with
Sami? Could be in there. Hey, maybe Mello makes a little surprise. Maybe they want to, he could pull a win off. You never know. But it's going to be stacked. Mm-hmm. It's going to be stacked, right? And then we got the women's as well. So I have no idea who Charlotte's going to pick. Who's the champion? So it's probably going to be Rhea Charlotte. Because they have unfinished. Right. They have unfinished business, though.
They do.
Rhea and Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Because pretty sure Charlotte wanted to fight Rhea at WrestleMania and she got injured.
Yes.
Last year, right? So they kind of have unfinished business. So we got Tiffany Stratton now. So now we got Nia Jax probably in the Elimination Chamber. Is Becky Lynch going to get back in time for the Elimination Chamber?
Oh, good question.
Right? Who are we going to see in there? Are we going to see Candice LeRae?
Alexa Bliss.
Oh, Alexa Bliss. I mean, Liv Morgan will most likely be in it as well. So the possibilities right now are endless.
Yeah.
Is Jey Uso going to make it to WrestleMania? Is somebody going to challenge him for his number 1 contender?
It's happened in the past. Yeah, good question.
I there's just so many avenues that can, may, and possibly will happen. I love it. I don't know what's going on, which is where you want to be. It's like watching Lost. If you're not lost watching wrestling a little bit, like where this is gonna go,
Yeah.
it's really boring, right? So, what's next?
Yeah,
I guess
there
we'll
are so
find
many
out.
options, and to strike that, there are so many good options.
Huh.
And right now it's stacked. It's a great time to be watching the product. There's so many, we talked offline, right? There's Roman and Seth really were going at it, and then do you throw it in a triple threat and add Punk into the mix, or is it just going to be Punk versus Seth, Punk versus Roman? Punk still has to call in his favor to Paul Heyman.
Yes,
So
very interesting
I
as
don't
well.
know what is Drew gonna do. He's just on a tear as well. It's crazy. I have no idea.
This is going to be a very interesting WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
That is for sure. That being said, any last words, Barnaby?
I was stoked with the Rumble. I thought it was a great show. Congratulations to Charlotte, and congratulations to Jey Uso.
Much deserved.
Didn't see that coming. I did kind of call Charlotte winning it. Me and my kid had a little side bet
I'll have
going
to check
on.
the tapes, but
Me and my kid had some side bets going on for the winners. No one called Jey. Great surprise, great win, well deserved, really good show, very enjoyable. That's all I got.
Yay! So make sure you like and subscribe. We got Monday Night Raw coming up. SmackDown coming. Just like and subscribe so you know when we're dropping these things, because we try and do an episode per. Unless we're busy, then if there's a pay-per-view and a SmackDown, sometimes this will happen. That being said, kayfabe wrestling talk. We talk about wrestling the way it should be talked about. Like and subscribe so you know what's coming up. Matthew Burnaby, handsome Nick Hanlon here. I'll see you on the sunset flip side. Yeah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Bye. Bye. My dick's out. Papa, my dick. Papa, my dick's cold. I don't know what's happening. I've been drinking.